If you're new to my channel, I am your girl, Madi, and welcome. So today's video, if you clicked on it, I'm hoping that you've read the title. You know, we're going to talk about Selling Tampa. If you don't know what Selling Tampa is, it is a new show on Netflix, similar to Selling Sunset. Selling Sunset is based in LA, and you know, it's a bunch of white people. It's it's a bunch of white women who sell luxury real estate in LA. The two owners of the Oppenheim Group in LA are two white men, and they're the realtors. They own the brokerage, and the realtors under them are all white women. Selling Tampa, it is a luxury real estate firm in Tampa, Florida, and they are all black women. Well, all let me say black, indigenous, people of color. Like, that's what that realty agency is supposed to be, which I think is beautiful. And so that's what Selling Tampa is. The owner is Shirelle. The owner is Shirelle, and she is a biracial woman. And she has, you know, black women in there, Latina women in there. So it's a beautiful agency. Their agency is called Allure. And that is, you know, they sell luxury homes in Tampa, Florida. And I think they've even expanded into the Miami area now, like Shirelle at least has. So that's what it is. I have a few notes. I have a few things. I want to talk, guys. I had to get comfortable, okay? Because we are going to talk Selling Tampa. And why, excuse me, why Selling Tampa, not Selling Sunset? Because it's a show about black women, and I love black women. Well, not just black women, but, you know, they're like, you know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. It's about, they're so rude outside. Every time I start recording, they always want to be loud as hell outside. Why do you want to compete with me? What I do to them? Okay. So I have notes. And I'm gonna read it. And I'm gonna go through it. So let me tell you, I like the show. I really like the show. I can't wait for them to come back with a season 2. I think it's very needed. I think it's a much needed show. It's a breath of fresh air to see like diversity on your TV screens. Like, we talk about it all the time. Like, I personally, when I bought my home, I specifically went and looked for a black real estate agent because I wanted somebody who understood me and represented me to be in that deal with me and to be in those conversations and help me open those doors, right? Like, I wanted that specifically, so I understand and I love the fact that this is there. Not gonna lie, they had me up here Googling like, what it take to be a real estate agent? What it take? Let me see. I don't want to do it though. Let me not lie to myself. I do not want to do it because I know how I used to bug my agent. Still do, because I love her to death. Like, love that woman to death. She will always be my real estate agent no matter what I do. Like, I'm taking her with me forever and ever. But that's how much of a connection she's made with me. But I also know, like, I used to be on it with her. So I can only imagine that for them. But I think it's a beautiful show. Colony, my God, Colony is a beautiful woman. Let me say this, they're all beautiful, but like, there was something about Colony, she was so striking when she first hit my TV screen. I was like, damn, girl, beautiful woman. Joanna, girl, I need to look like Joanna, because the fact that she is in her 40s with a 20-something-year-old son, I think she was like 22 or something, and she's a grandma now, and she looked like that. I need to be Joanna when I grow up, because she looks amazing. Like, I would not have said Joanna's in her 40s and she has a child. Had Joanna not told me that, I would have never imagined. Tennille, I like Tennille. Tennille gives off real regular, like, black girl vibes, if y'all know what I mean. Like, she's real, like, casual, cool. Like, I love the energy of Tennille. Who else do we have? Anne Sophie. Anne Sophie, I think, is cute. You could tell she's a vibe. She's definitely young. She about her money, and like, who could be mad at that? And she's Haitian and I'm Haitian, so like, I was already vibing with Anne Sophie. I feel her. Also, the name, so Haitian. But like, next thing, we had Carla and Alexis. Carla and Alexis, to me, were both a little lackluster in what they were giving. Alexis, oh Lord, we're gonna talk about Alexis a little bit more, but like, Alexis was like, but Carla, like, you know, I think they definitely have the ability to give more, and I can't wait for season 2 to see what Carla gives more of. More of her personality, more of like her seeing her in homes and trying to sell it. I think like we need to see that of her, because we didn't see that much of that this season, and that, you know, threw me off a little bit. So, and then Shirelle, I told you guys, is the broker's agent. She is the owner of Allure Realty, so it's her brokerage agency. Here's what I'm gonna jump right into with my notes, because I started notes from like the first episode going down. So like that's the rundown of all the people. I'll try to have them on the screen for you guys so you can see who is who. So I watched the show twice, okay? I watched it twice because I wanted to like make sure I got everything, and I'm probably still missing some stuff. So y'all can let me know in the comments down below. We can have a conversation about it for real. But I knew I'm still missing stuff, honestly. I know I'll probably still be missing stuff, honestly, from like the conversation, but this is what I got after watching it twice. In the beginning, Joanna seemed more like an assistant to me than an agent or an office manager. It took until she said that for me to realize, like, oh, she's actually an agent, because the way she was following behind Shirelle made her seem like she was Shirelle's assistant, not the office manager. And also, I didn't like that Shirelle essentially made her the office manager and didn't tell anybody, like, nah, that's her place. She's the office manager. Got the people out here calling her HR, and they giggling about it, but like, there's a clear problem there, because they don't respect her. And it was very obvious to everybody that like watched the TV show that they did not respect Joanna. Shirelle, you're using her to relay these commands and these directives as your second in command, essentially, but you're not putting it in place. And I get it may have happened like over time, but at the point that you realize, yo, I really am using her as my second in command, that should have been a conversation that had happened in the very beginning, not at the end. Okay? So that was just the one thing for me. Shirelle, I think Shirelle is so unprofessional when it comes to being a business owner. I think she is so unprofessional. The fact that she was out there kikiing and gossiping with Joanna was distasteful, in my opinion. Like, very distasteful. Yeah, because I ain't like that shit. Because why were you sitting there like that, kikiing, talking about them crazy, and then would be in their face? Like, that's not a good relationship to have as a boss to employees. There are certain conversations Joanna should not be in the room for. Unless Joanna is going to be your note taker, then Joanna needs to be taking notes, right? But we need to let them know, hey, I'm gonna leave Joanna in here because she's taking notes. Because right now, all it seems like is Joanna's your little puppy and your assistant. She's just sitting here listening to you as you have these conversations that should be had in private, right? And a lot of the conversations that Shirelle has, I feel like should have been had in private. When she had that conversation with Carla and Alexis about like them underproducing and needed to step it up, that should have been a conversation that's had in private. Like, that's not something I think, oh, now the sun will come out. Okay, hello, sun. That's not a conversation I truly believe that you should be having in front of other people. And I say this as somebody who's managed other people. You do not give direct feedback like that and discipline people in front of other people, because you do not know how they'll take it, right? Also, you like, essentially in the office, everybody's competition to everybody, so now you're giving them more ammo and stuff behind their back. Like, don't do that. You should have pulled them to the side. You should have pulled Alexis and Carla to the side and had a one-on-one conversation and said, hey, what is going on, right? You're not producing, you're not stepping it up. If you are not able to produce what I need you to produce, which is this X amount of thing, by this timeline, I'm gonna have to let you go. And that should have been a one-on-one conversation in private, not a conversation in front of the whole team. That was disgusting. Really distasteful, in my opinion. Didn't like it, because I think about myself and like others I've managed and like putting them in the kind of situation, and we would have had a tussle. Okay, it would have been a tussle. I'm gonna be jumping around, guys, because how I took my notes, so just forgive me. And Sophie is about her money, and I freaking love it. Okay. When she did the calculations on the home, I think it was like the $8 million home, she said, and 3% commission and the blah, 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 and that's $300,000 for me. That's vacation money. I said, oh yes, honey, vacation money. $300 is vacation money? I need that to be my vacation money too, which is why it has me thinking like, how become a real estate agent? Because what? Yes, ma'am. I need that to be my vacation money as well. But the fact that she was doing that, I loved it. So this girl's about her money, and she's not playing. She can do the calculation. She know what she's supposed to get down. I thought that was amazing. I thought that was so hilarious. Alexis was talking about selling the dream, but baby, you not selling shit on this show. What are you talking about? Alexis' favorite line this whole season was, "Oh, the home just sells itself. This is kind of home that just sells itself. It sells itself. If it sells itself, why are you here? Tell me, why are you here if the home is going to sell itself?" Alexis didn't know none of the facts. Like, none of the facts when she showed Tennille's client that home. This, you know, the house is built around this tree. What's the tree's name? The tree of life. Alexis, that's not the name of the tree. I think on a $3 million home, he asked how much the taxes are. It was a really high price home, and Alexis said the taxes was $6,000. The taxes on that home were like $90,000, and I can't remember the exact home of the price now, but I can tell you the taxes was $90,000, and she told him $6,000. Completely off, and you could tell on his face that man was annoyed, okay, discouraged, because she didn't know how many bathrooms, how many baths, the basics. She didn't know the bathroom, the bath, the square footage. She didn't know nothing to tell this man about this home, and I was so annoyed because she kept saying the house sells itself. Well, obviously it needs to, because you ain't doing nothing. You are doing nothing. So I'm gonna tell you, at the end when Shirelle let her go, I completely agreed with the decision, because Alexis is not doing a good job. And here's what I will say. Although I feel like we didn't see a lot of, like, Alexis getting a lot of, like, knowledge and, like, help, apart from, like, Tennille, Shirelle did say, like, every time they try to talk to Alexis, she gives excuses, which leads me to believe that, you know, they've tried with Alexis before, and Alexis is just not there. I think when you talked to Alexis before, you should have gave her a timeline of like, hey, yo, if you don't get it together and sell a home in this amount of time, I'm going to have to let you go. Because to be there for 2 years at that point and not have sold a home, oh, baby, you're fucking up. You are messing up. I was annoyed that they didn't show much of, like, them closing a house. So, like saying, like, more when they closed homes. It's not that I don't think they didn't do it, they just didn't talk about it enough. Like, I wanted it to be like almost like Selling Sunset, when they're like, oh yeah, no, we just closed on this house, I'm about to close on this house. Like, I wanted more of that. I wanted, yeah, you know what, Renee just why did I call her Renee? Rena just closed on 2 homes. One was 2.5, one was 3. Like, I wanted more of that, because these are Black, Indigenous, people of color, BIPOC, women in this luxury real estate game, and I wanted them to highlight, you know, the homes that they sold, even if at the end they've been like, this season, this is how many homes they sold. Like, I wanted more of that, right? Like, I wanted to see it, because y'all are doing the damn thing, but y'all need to, I want y'all to plaster that thing out in the world. So that bothered me that I didn't see more of that, because I really wanted it. I said I hate woman boss culture. It's so toxic. And I had the little fuming emoji. So as I was reading this, right, as I was watching the show, and I watched it for like the second time, it really annoyed me, Shirelle's leadership style and the way she did things. It bothered me so much, because she's very much, I'm a boss, I'm a woman boss, I'm this, I'm, you know, I gotta stand firm because it's my agency, and what I say go. Baby, that's not how you, that's not like, yeah, yes, you know what, you are a manager at that point, right? Like, but you're not a true leader. And like, to be in a position like that, you must lead your team and be able to lead them like effectively, and like that comes through effective communication. And I know you're probably like, girl, what? I am HR. I'm an HR VP right now. That is my job. For the past 5 years, I've managed people from 50 to 1,000 people at a time, like, and now I'm an HR, and now I do HR fully, right? Like, so when I tell you, I understand and I know that's not how you lead and manage people. You can't lead and manage people like with the fake sense of like, I'm a family, because okay, we're not a family, it's a business. So you need to know that like, I'm here to support you, but at the end of the day, here's the business that I run, and here's what's going to happen. But it can't be like, it's my way or the highway. People don't respond to that. People don't work well under that. You can't tell me it's my way, the highway, but then ask me if I have questions. So like, perfect thing to bring up. When Shirelle talked about the split, right? Where's the split? Y'all, when I tell you I have like notes. So when Shirelle brought up the splits, right? She was in that meeting with the girls, and she said, you know, effective in 30 days, we're going to change the commission splits from 95-5 to 80-20. I was like, damn, right? Because not only is that like a short timeline, 30 days is not a long time, but like the jump is so steep, and the explanation she gave was very half-assed. I'm going to be very honest with you guys, half-assed. We're going to get new, you know, lead generating systems, and, you know, the new blah, blah, blah. And it was like, girl, this sound real shiesty to me. And I'm on the other side, not saying like, and I know people are going to be like, well, that's not, when I write it on like Twitter and stuff like that, people are like, that's not the common split. The common split is to be like 70-30 or whatever like that. We're not saying that like, I don't think anybody's saying like the 80-20 split is incorrect. That's not the problem. Here's where the problem lies in. One, how you communicated it to them, right? You communicated with them like that, like just randomly, 30 days. That's how it's going to happen for you. You ask them if they have questions on. Rena brought up legitimate concerns. You tried to gaslight Rena. Oh, are the seats you're sitting in, are they the same from when you first started? Is the but it's like, girl, what? Like that's not what she's asking you. You're saying these lead generating systems, are going to be different. These are going to be different. You can't like fully show and like give the list of like, here's all the difference that's happening. One, like why can't you show it? You're talking, but you cannot show what is so different. And like that's what annoyed me, because if you're putting all these new things in place, and you should have these information ready for these people, because they're not really your employees. They're kind of like contractors. At least that's what I think. They're kind of like contractors, but whatever. You should be able to explain like what is going to be the difference, and you're changing the pay splits on what they're having. I think it should have been a better discussion. I think it should have been, as soon as you were thinking about adjusting it, you should have let them know like, hey guys, as you know, Allure is growing. I'm going to have to look into, you know, adjusting the splits and how it currently works. You know, the industry standard is this, and that's not where we are currently. And I want to make sure I'm being fair to you guys, but also being fair to the business and how we're doing it. I think had she prefaced it like that, right, you would have had a better conversation with the team. Also, had you been able to show them what these new systems that you were putting in place, would have been a better conversation. Also, address the fact that in the 1 year you've changed the split now twice. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, because that's a problem. Like in 1 year, the fact that you changed it twice is an issue for me. That's a lot of changing. In like, I was totally on Rena's side. That's a lot of changing in less than a year's time, and I don't know if you'll then want to change it again. Like, yeah, you don't know how to communicate effectively about that, and that bothered me, because Shirelle can't ask. Shirelle asks, do you guys have any questions? When Rena brought up questions, well, I don't have time for this right now. What? So when you couldn't get your way with Rena, Shirelle, you wanted to be like, oh, I don't have time for this right now. You can put some time in my books and talk about Rena tests your authority. She doesn't test your authority. She asks questions on the business that you are running. You don't want no questions. You want people to follow you like blind minions, but that's not what this is. And that's the part that bothers me. You feel like you're a boss and nobody should question you, but that's not how being a boss works, unfortunately. Like, you can't just go about and say, nobody asks me no damn questions. No. Sorry, I got distracted by a text. Oh, I said Cho wanted some colony. Let me tell you, Cho wanted him some colony. I'm not gonna lie. The first time I watched it, I said, "Ooh, Cho kind of cute." The second time I watched it, I said, "Cho funny looking." I don't know, something about his head. Maybe it's the haircut. Maybe he got rid of the haircut. But something about Cho was funny looking. But his body was nice. And let me tell you why when I definitively knew that Cho wanted colony is when he somehow ended up at the same hotel as her in Miami. I said, "Oh no, Cho's trying to stick his claim. He wants you, colony, girl. Just to let you know, that man, he wants you, boo." Yeah, so I said, you know, I love the idea of a bi-POC woman brokerage, but the leadership is questionable. Shirelle's leadership is questionable. Joanna reporting under her, and her leadership is questionable. And I get Joanna was trying to put on a facade, like a good image. But when she was talking, when it was her, Shirelle, and what's her name, Tennille, at that lunch, and she was talking about how her husband put it on, a ring on her after a year of dating, whatever. Baby, I know you were trying to put a facade, but shut up, because you're getting a divorce. So at this point, shut up. Shut up. Don't talk about, like, why are you talking about your marriage like that? Or maybe not. I don't know. I'm not married. Not trying to be married anytime soon right now. Yeah, I'm not married. So maybe I just don't understand. I just don't know why Joanna was talking about her marriage and how her man put a ring on it a year, and knowing him, of them dating and being together when she's getting divorced now, 5 years later. So it's like, did we have to talk about it? I think you could have stayed silent on that, like they asked, but okay. I said I really like Rena. She's smart. She knows what she knows, and she doesn't back down. Like, I love how when she was like listing her accolades, like she has a degree in engineering. She's a lawyer, and then she got into real estate. Like, and Shirelle encouraged that of her. So I think Shirelle thought, well, Rena thought her and Shirelle had a better relationship, just because of like how she started out in real estate, them being neighbors, Shirelle encouraging her to get her real estate like license, them working together. I think she thought the relationship was a little different than what it was. But I'm gonna tell you this, Shirelle, look out for she alone. So there's a couple scenes in here I felt like we did not need. I felt like we didn't need the shopping scene between Colony and Anne Sophie, the one between Joanna and Shirelle. That house scene between Shirelle and Joanna, the gym scene between Carla and Shirelle. I feel like those were all unnecessary scenes. They added no value, in my opinion. They added absolutely nothing. So I was like, okay, I guess. Like, I feel like there was more scenes outside of the brokerage than inside, and I wanted more inside. Like, I want to see more of these homes. I want to see more of what y'all doing over there. Less of these scenes, in my opinion. Y'all may like the outside scenes. I just personally didn't. Rena's the only person I saw that they said, like, had a contract, and please correct me if I'm wrong. Got a contract on a home. That's the only person. It's not that they didn't show the homes. They just didn't show like the rest of it. And I told y'all before, I ain't like that. Show me all of it. Let me see all of the things. Now I said there has to be an underlying beef between Joanna, Colony, and Anne Sophie, because like the tension between them was ridiculous. They was always coming at Joanna's neck, and I feel like Joanna was low-key shady towards them, and I'm just like, what happened before y'all started filming? Because there's something here that I just can't understand. But they was not feeling Joanna, which is another reason why I think Shirelle should have came out and just said earlier, Joanna is my second in charge, and I'm giving her a lot of these leadership these office roles and whatever, I can't even speak right now, but a lot of these management responsibilities and stuff, because I'm putting her as my second in command. She should have just said that, because I think it would have helped resolve or not have so many of these issues, to know like Shirelle's already put me in this position. And granted, Joanna saw the need and she filled in for herself, but at that point, once you were keeping her there, you should have said something. I think Joanna was so unnecessary when she was given a cocktail outfit description. So I didn't think it was unnecessary to say, like, because her and Shirelle were messy the day before, and talking about, some of these girls be dressing real scandalous or whatever, like they go into the club, whatever. I get that, and I get needing to say, like, this is the appropriate dress code to wear. I'm not mad at you there. So far, you got me. I'm on your side. It was here's the history of cocktail and the... No. It should have been like, ladies, Shirelle and I just wanted to give you guys a reminder of what appropriate cocktail wear is. I think that would frame it like that. I think it's the way we're framing these conversations that is leading us to these problems. Like, girl, if you don't phrase it properly and say this is what it is. You don't have to give me that, because then I felt you was doing too much. You was being messy when you said like this is like, here's the whole description breakdown of it. Like, you're doing too much, and that's annoying. And I get why they would be annoyed, because I'd be sitting there like, girl, seriously? Because what are you doing? Like, here's a description, like, here is an example of what would be appropriate to wear. Like, you know, Shirelle and I put together, you know, a quick email, whatever, or, you know, photo guide of what would be appropriate to wear to a cocktail hour and what would be inappropriate to wear, just so you guys have a reference on what we expect for tonight or tomorrow, whatever the thing was. Like, that's how the conversation should have been had, in my opinion. Okay, my humble opinion. Joanna and Shirelle were messy, okay? Because they knew it was going to be an issue that Rena wasn't in that photo that they chose for that house when they were doing that mixer. They knew it was going to be an issue. Because and it took me to the second watch to notice that they brought it up first when they were looking at the photo. When they were walking the house before everybody else got here. Like, damn, you know who's going to be mad because they're not in the photo. Oh, cause so she shouldn't have left early. But like, all of that was super messy. It was like, this is so unnecessary, and you knew it was gonna be an issue. So why didn't you choose another one? Y'all had more than just that one. Why didn't you choose another one? Right? Like, because this woman's giving you now 20% of her paycheck, and you can't even have her in the photo that you're using to advertise Allure Realty. I would have an issue with that too. Yeah, but they were like, those two, they were messy to talk about the photo like that. Dr. George, I'm not gonna lie, he read them for filth low key when Shirelle came up and said, oh, you ready to buy his house? And he said, how? He said, nobody walked me through it, nobody showed me nothing. Like, I'm not supposed to just admit. I said, Dr. George, yes, okay? Dr. George read them for filth, because he was like, y'all doing a whole lot of talking, y'all not doing a whole lot of showing of this house that y'all want me to buy. How do you want me to buy a house? I don't even know what it looks like. You're not showing me anything. You're giving me drinks outside. I want to see the house. Who's gonna show me the house? Okay, Dr. George, I'm not mad at you. My question is, why didn't they start it off with like champagne in the entryway, doing a tour of the house, and they get it outside? You know, like, why wasn't that the thing that they were doing? Or like, I don't know, because like, don't you, to get outside, don't you have to go through the house? So why were we doing tours of the house? Or were we doing tours and we just didn't see that they did tours? I feel like that would have been helpful to see them doing tours of the house, because right now I just felt like y'all had them outside and y'all was doing a low-key party. Also, it felt like it was a party for the Allure, like it was a party celebrating Allure Realty and their anniversary, not like promoting the house and trying to sell the house. I was confused on that part. I felt like Shirelle's toast at the end would have been better suited. Would have been better suited if they were doing like an anniversary party, you know, for Allure, like celebrating 1 year in business, not toasting. Like, that was just, it was really, I think, awkward and out of place, in my opinion, for what the event was. Oh, I said it's inappropriate to mention, call out people for their dress attire in front of the entire team. They do a lot of that. Like to me, in my opinion, it's call out culture, and I am not a fan of call out culture. My job does that currently, and I push back like a mofo on that. Like, don't do that to me, because as my leader, when I call you out, now don't be mad. Like, I don't think call out culture in that sense benefits anybody, and it creates a toxic work environment, in my opinion. So I didn't like that they were doing that. And they do that a lot. And I told y'all, for everything, it's always in front of the entire team. Sometimes it's important to have those conversations in sidebar. And it shouldn't be that me as an employee always has to come to you and say, like, let's have this conversation on the side. It should be you as my boss, as the owner of Allure. You should understand and know this is not the kind of conversation we should have in front of other people. This is the kind of conversation I should pull you off to the side to have privately. That's what that is. What I will say is, Shirelle is correct, though, about Anne Sophie putting in a $3 million offer on a $9 million house. When I tell you that shit is so disrespectful, it is so disrespectful for to even see that. Like, for the seller's agent to get that bid in and have to give that to a client, to show that to a client is disrespectful. Because at that point, you playing with me, you playing on my head top, and I don't respect that. I don't like that, because you're not even close to what I'm asking. You are undervaluing me so much. That is a $6 million difference on a home. I don't care that you don't think it's worth $9 million, but I'm damn sure not putting it at $3 million, and I'm not close to cutting that price to make it $3 million. So Aunt Sophie was disrespectful for even like suggesting they put that in. And I feel like the reason Aunt Sophie never put it in is because she knew it was disrespectful. Even getting the client up $1 million to $4 million was still disrespectful. Had the client started the conversation closer to, I don't know, a 7, it would have been different. Like, yeah, I don't think that estate is worth 9. Here's 7. 7 would have started the conversation a little different. But you started super low, which is super disrespectful in my opinion when it comes to the home. I will tell you that many a times before I put any offers in on the house, when I was looking on any property, when I was looking with my agent, we would go over, like, you know, what would be like the better split to put, what would be like actually considered, what would be considered disrespectful. Like, so it's not like you don't know as an agent, because my agent knew, and well, we're in New York, so she probably do sell $1 million homes. I'm not even going in front of her. But like, if you're solely luxury, you should know what a disrespectful offer is, because my agent knew what a disrespectful offer is. Like, which is how I learned what disrespectful offers were. Like, you can't go that low. I don't care what you think this home is worth. You cannot go that low. Damn, my phone is dying. Hold on. Let me move the brightness up some more. So my notes now are about the commission splits again. But yo, I really didn't like that Shirelle try to say that Renee, why do I keep calling her Renee? Rena is ungrateful, and then shut down the conversation, and then tell him to get in the calendar. Like, when I say Shirelle is disrespectful in the manner of being a true, like, boss, she does not know how to be a true boss. You think because you own the firm, you can move how you want, and like, you don't have to answer any questions about the decisions you made because it is your realty firm and you can do what you want. But that's not truly what a boss is. Like, you can't say that, then feel some type of way when, and then say, if you know, I'm not keeping you here, if you're unhappy, you can go. Then be surprised when Rena is trying to go. Oh my God, I never saw this coming, and I thought we were good here. Oh yeah, you just said if you was unhappy here, you could go, nobody's keeping you. Like, you can't have it both ways, my dear. You cannot. You're moving shady. You're unable to have communications, effective communications. You feel like it's your way or the highway, and then you're surprised that they don't want to stay. Baby, cut it out. Cut it out, cut it out. I want to know why she gave Carla and not Alexis the Arturo deal. I was just curious on that. Like, why was it Carla and not Alexis? Maybe it's because Alexis didn't produce anything in 2 years, and at least Carla was producing before her split with her man, and all that. So maybe that's what it was. But I thought that was, like, interesting. I said when they do walkthroughs of the houses, they need to bring clients in to show it. I'm tired of just like the agents walking through the home. If y'all don't bring some clients in here too, my common thing keeps going back to, like, I want to see the magic happen as y'all doing it. I love seeing these homes. I want to see more of these homes. Walk me through with a client or two. Let me see that, because that would make me happy. So I want to point this out. Colony and Ann they were annoying to me because they did have an issue with the split, right? When they were talking amongst themselves outside of that home that they had walked through, they did have an issue with the split of the house, but they felt like because they were young with no kids, like, it really doesn't mean anything because, like, you know, like, they're still making money. But it's like, you could be making more money coming into your pocket, and you do have the right to ask, hey, why is my split being changed? What, like, how is it going to benefit me? Because it's happening so frequently. Like, you need to follow Rena's lead on this, because your blind loyalty and you're being okay with just saying, like, oh, Shirelle's a boss, she can do whatever she wants, like, it's stupid to me. It's really dumb. And I just feel like you're not protecting yourself in the long run, and that's very important. Being able to ask questions is important. You should be able to have a voice, because y'all feel some type of way about it, so much so that y'all each thinking about leaving. So why we acting we acting real fugazi? I don't like that. Yo, for the Arturo deal, when Carla was there, but she was asking him the questions in Spanish. I said, y'all could have had this conversation in English, but okay. You know what? I think there is a certain comfort in having somebody who speaks your native tongue with you and having, you know, and just feeling that. I think that's why they brought her along. I was questioning why they didn't bring Alexis along, because I thought Alexis is also Latina and she could speak Spanish. But like, you know, I do understand the comfort in that. I'm pretty sure that's why they brought her along. I question why Joanna was with Shirelle for every deal that she seems to do. Like Shirelle, like, this is why I thought Joanna was her assistant, low key, right? Because everywhere Shirelle goes for a deal, Joanna's right behind her, and that, to me, that doesn't scream office manager. That seems assistant. That's my opinion. But maybe that's just her trusted confidant, so she wants to do a lot of stuff with her. But I think that's where some of the tension in the office arise from. I thought the meeting at the bar grill was so unnecessary. If you're going to celebrate with the team, a big deal. Celebrate the team, a big deal. I didn't think it needed to be at the bar grill. I didn't think you needed to have Carla on a separate boat, shaking champagne into the little lake ocean pond, and then getting off to, like, I thought all of that was unnecessary. And I want to know how you thought your team wouldn't have had an issue with that as well, and they wouldn't be like, oh, why couldn't we all celebrate the same way? Like, it just seemed very interesting to me. Yeah, and then, so at the beach, so at the, like, beach growth thing, right, at one point, Colony said, right, Shirelle is going to run her business. Somebody said Shirelle's going to run her business like she always does. And Colony replied back and said, yeah, without notice. Which is why I knew it was, I think it was you and Anne Sophie. Y'all had an issue. Y'all had an issue with the splits and how Shirelle runs her business, but y'all not going to say something. Like, y'all, yeah, it was Anne Sophie who said that. Y'all have an issue with how she runs her business, her lack of communication, but y'all are, I don't know if you're too afraid or what to speak up, but, like, you should. And it's clear that there's an issue. Y'all just, Rena's the only one speaking, and it annoys me that Shirelle's like, Rena's always trying to test her authority, because Rena's the only one that got balls to really speak up and say what's going on. Sorry, I started sinking into my couch. I got so comfortable. Rena's the only one comfortable to say what's truly on her mind and what the other girls are thinking, because they're terrified. So it's like, oh, Rena's the only one that's always testing my authority. You know, Rena has balls. Rena's a professional, and she understands, like, I should be allowed to ask questions with things that affect my pay and my livelihood. Because it's not like Shirelle is just giving her a handout. Like, no, I make money this way. What else did I write? I think I'm almost done with my notes, guys. Yo, Joanna be hopping into this conversation unnecessarily, and bless her soul. She is like, she really is Shirelle's sidekick. And like, when they're at their beach grill, she was like, oh, like, who has a comment? She was like, I can tell you right now who had an issue with it. And Sophie, she did a little stunt, and I was like, oh, girl, you should have mind your business. You should sit there and mind your business, because let these grown adults speak when they feel like they need to speak. Like, I get being her second in command, but y'all both don't know. And I think Joanna gets him from, like, watching Shirelle and how Shirelle leads, but, like, it's such an inappropriate, ineffective way of leading and managing people that you're gonna get yourself nowhere, which is why you got yourself burnt like that, and Sophie came at your neck so damn hard, right? Like, it's because it was just so out of pocket and so uncalled for. You don't need to speak. You don't need to speak for her. You don't need to be her watchful eyes. You don't need to be her watchful gaze. Like, it says something to Shirelle and her leadership, the fact that her people do not feel comfortable coming to tell her, I do have an issue with this, with these things, because then Shirelle dismisses you and says, it's my way or the highway. I don't got time for this. Put some time on my calendar. We can talk about it. When, for instance, when Colony had an issue with the fact that at the very end, after Shirelle said, you know, she's spending more of her time between Miami and what's this thing called, and Tampa, because she was pregnant with Chad's baby, right? Because she's pregnant with Chad's baby. And she was giving the office manager role to Joanna, and Colleen was obviously upset. They had a conversation. They were having a discussion, and they were like, it was said like, oh, like, you know, I don't have time right now. Put some time on my calendar. We can discuss it. And at the very end, Joanna was like, Colony, would you like me to help set up an appointment on Shirelle's calendar? So unnecessary, so fucking messy. Messy boats. Because why was that even necessary? And this is why they stay on your head top, Joanna, because that shit was unnecessary and messy, and it makes people want to fight. I agree. It makes them want to fight. So I feel them on that one. Yeah, like Joanna is Shirelle's sidekick for real. That's how she like moves and she works. Alexis and Tennille should not have been paired together because Tennille is very much a for self kind of woman. Not that I'm mad at it, but Tennille already did not like Alexis, and I think putting her with her was a bad idea. I think it would have been smarter for Shirelle to have paired her directly with herself, or Joanna, since that's your second in command, and Sophie, or what is her name, Colony. Like it would have been better for you to put with one of these people rather than Tennille. I don't think Tennille should have been the one you put her with, because look how that went, baby. Look how that went. Honestly, I can't wait for season 2 to come out. Season 1, it was 8 episodes, was a teaser. They should have been like at least 10. But I greatly enjoyed it. I can't wait for it to come back. I want to see how it works with the split between Shirelle being in Miami to Tampa, with Joanna running the office essentially. I'm curious on how she's running the office with no broker's license, so she really can't do broker-esque stuff. I think that position should have been Rena's. I think Rena looking to leave is the right decision. I think her looking elsewhere and outwards is a really smart decision, because it's obvious Shirelle wants to run her business the way she wants to run her business, and that means she doesn't want people questioning her. And I think that means getting very young agents who won't question you. I don't think Rena's, I think, too much of she's in her 40s, I believe, right? Rena's educated, she's smart, she knows like to ask the right questions, and I don't think Shirelle likes that. So Shirelle needs people who won't ask questions, and I don't think that's Rena. I think, okay, so I'm gonna say this: Rena trying to poach Colony and Anne-Sophie to potentially go to her firm if she opens one. I died when she said that, okay? Then deceased in the ground. But I loved it. I loved it at the same time, because here's the thing, right? Shirelle said it, like, it's just business. Like, it's a business. I don't have to explain it to you. And honestly, in businesses, that happens. Unless it's written in a contract somewhere that says, like, I can't take any of your clients, or, like, none of your clients can work for me. Like, none of your agents can work for, a compete like my firm or whatever within the first 6 months, or whatever it may be. Baby, I can do what I want, right? Like, if they're unhappy, I can do what I want. Now, that is how it works in business, for real, right? Like, people will go to your competitors all the time. People will leave and take the good ones with you. That's what you do if you're running a smart business. Now, here's what I will say. Colony is shady, because Colony threw her girl Anne-Sophie under the bus, which is unnecessary when it came to Shirelle, because you were doing all that butt kissing and trying to like show Shirelle you trying to be her top girl, and she showed you she didn't care about you. She cared about Joanna. So like that's what you got for doing that foolishness, because you like burnt your girl Anne-Sophie. I think you need to be looking out for Colony, because Colony is out for self at the end of the day. All Colony should have said in that conversation was what she said, and when they were alone, she should have been like, Anne, girl, you're not right, because why didn't you say what you really said? That's not what you said. I'm watching you, but that's not what you said. I want to know why you wasn't honest. That should have been the conversation you had with your girl to the side, solo, not in front of Miss Shirelle, because that was unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. But okay. I think Rena trying to take them was interesting. I think loyalty is to self, and loyalty should be to self. And she was trying to make what was a good business decision for her, and I can't be mad at that. I think she should still open her firm if that's what she ultimately wants to do, and we should see how that goes, honestly. Does that make sense? That makes sense. But I'm not mad at her for trying to take Anne-Sophie or Colony with her as she leaves. Like, I wasn't mad at that. At the end of the day, you can only drop the nugget. You don't have to like actively poach. But I'm not mad that that happens, because here's the thing: if Shirelle was doing what she needs to do and keeping her people happy, and keeping those line of communications open and effective, then you wouldn't have that to begin with. So that's where my thoughts are on that. I know I said a lot. My sofa is so comfortable. I started falling into it, guys. I had to sit on the edge. But that was my thoughts on Selling Tampa. I think it is a cute little show, okay? Cute AF. And I really enjoyed it. So much so it invoked me to like come and speak on it on this dang channel. And y'all know I don't do like TV shows, reviews, or anything like that. But this show was really cute. And I wanted to come and give my little thoughts on that real quick. On it. So thank you guys so much for stopping by. Let me know what you thought of Selling Tampa down in the comments down below. Who was your favorite? I think my favorite is Rena. I love Rena. Is my energy. I felt her. I love her. Rena is my girl. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Who you enjoyed on the show. If you want to see a season 2, what you think is going to happen. I want to have a conversation. I want to know what you guys think, because I thought the show was good and they need more of it. Apparently in January, OWN is doing Women Who List for Atlanta, like that show for Atlanta. Can't wait. I'm gonna watch that too. I don't have cable though. I may have to get cable. I'm gonna figure it out, but I'm gonna be watching that show too. I love you guys so much. Thank you for stopping by. Please make sure to tell your auntie, cousin. My lips was dry just now. Oh my god. Please make sure to tell your auntie, sister, cousin, uncle, brother, nephew, son, okay? That's your girl. She's here. And we should watch her videos, and we should like, and we should comment, and we should subscribe. Yeah. And make sure to follow me on my social medias. All my accounts, the Instas, the Twitters. I'm being more active, working on my mental health, you know, just being more in the zone. I'll tell you guys what's going on with my mental health a little bit later. But I love you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one.